major news of an indictment out of Louisville, Kentucky, the Verify team wants to make sure we're getting the facts. And we've received a lot of questions about what exactly wanton endangerment really means. So let's verify a couple of these questions. Here are sources: two Kentucky lawyers, Ron Aslam and Michael Thompson, as well as the Kentucky criminal statute itself. Let's start with the definition. The statute reads in part, "A person is guilty of wanton endangerment in the first degree when under circumstances manifesting extreme indifference to the value of human life, he wantonly engages in conduct which creates a substantial danger of death or serious physical injury to another person."
It's firing a weapon into an abandoned building that may have people in it. It's screaming fire in the movie theater. It's anything that gives a real substantial risk that somebody could die.
This brings us to question number one. Let's verify if jail time is on the line for someone convicted of this charge. Our experts say yes, this is verified. According to the statute, one can face in between 1 and 5 years for each count. Since Hakison is facing 3 counts, he could serve up to 15 years if found guilty. Okay, let's move on to question number 2. Let's verify, were more severe charges possible? This too is verified.
Wanton endangerment is a Class D felony. So is reckless homicide. Manslaughter 2 is a C, manslaughter 1 is a B, murder is A, carries 20 to life. In terms of what the community was expecting, I would consider this to be a significant letdown to the community, specifically the protesting community.
If you have questions about this indictment or anything else, just shoot us an email at verify@wusa9.com.